Hello, everyone, and thank you for joining me today for the Vector Institute Demo Day. My name is Amir, and I am very excited to talk about my project that I've been working on during this time, which is the self-assessment tool. A little bit of introduction about me. I am an AI education intern here at Vector Institute. I've been doing in this position for about 8 months now, and I am also close to finishing my master's degree in computer science. And I was lucky enough to work within the professional development team here at Vector, which is led by Sedef. Now, today, I would like to discuss about 3 major questions within my presentation. First one is why we need the self-assessment tool. The second is what is the self-assessment tool? And the third is how did we create the self-assessment tool? So I start with an example of the forecasting workshop. During the last term that I was here, we held a workshop called Forecasting, and it was about teaching people how forecasting methodologies work. And usually after all of our programs, we ask people about their opinion. And don't get me wrong, we run lots of great workshops, but sometimes the type of response that we get is that, oh, this course was too easy, or the assignments were too easy for me. And on the other hand, we also get at the same time, some people say that, oh, I thought it was really high level, or I would need more introductory level information. Now, I think the main and the root cause of this problem is that when we are registering people into our programs, they would need more information. What they have is just a piece of information that is the prerequisite knowledge that we provide when they are registering for the program. So in this case, we ask people with advanced Python programming level to join this course. But what exactly is an advanced level of Python programming? And can people actually tell if they are an advanced level in Python programming? Well, turns out us humans, we are not really good at predicting our own competence. And this is also backed by science. It is called the Dunning-Kruger effect. And as you can see in the chart, when we start to learn something at the very early stages, we feel very confident and we feel that we know a lot about the subject, whereas we actually know just a little bit and we are not experienced or competent enough yet. And as the time moves on, we'll get to know that, okay, there's a lot more that I need to learn. But what happens is that when we ask people that we are looking for people with advanced Python programming level, for example, we are targeting people with a certain level of confidence in their own abilities. And what happens is that 2 groups of people attend and register for that class with different levels of competence and different levels of experience. Now, this makes our classes to be mixed. All of our programs and all of our workshops, we have people with mixed backgrounds. And in a perfect world, what we would like to see is that these people are separated into 2 groups, experienced participants and beginner participants. And to do that, this brings me to the second question. What did we do to solve this issue? So here at Vector Institute, within the PD team, we developed a self-assessment tool. It is an online web application where everyone can go to the website and objectively assess their own abilities in different areas such as programming and machine learning. It contains a variety of quizzes, for example, Python programming or data manipulation, and it also contains a list of modules. Now, what are modules? Modules are specifically designed for some of the programs that we hold at the Vector Institute. For example, say we are going to run the causal inference lab in a few months, and we want people with Python programming, data manipulation, and model development experience to register for this lab. So we make a package of these 3 quizzes and name it causal inference, and we ask all of the participants to complete this module before taking on the program. Now, each quiz is a list of multiple choice questions. These questions can be coding questions, or they can be just domain knowledge. And each question comes with a hint and a solution. So people have all the resources that they need to learn more while they're doing the assessment, and they have access to the solution, so they will be able to learn as they are going through this assessment. And it's also designed to be very short and not time consuming for the participants. And lastly, it also retains the user's progress. So when a person decides to join us for a new program or a new lab later on within a few months, or they just want to review what they did previously, all of their information is actually recorded in the website, so they have access to it later on. Now, another important thing that we need to keep work on is the content management of this tool. Now, we all know that we have to define new quizzes, we have to update our quizzes, and we need to define different modules during this time. And we kept that in mind while designing this tool. So defining a new quiz within this tool is fairly simple. There is no coding involved. You don't have to be expert in programming. You just need to write markdown files, and these markdown files are automatically generated to become in a website format. So what you have to do is to define the quiz in markdown, and then just you have to commit and push your changes into the GitHub repository that we have. And everything else is automatic. A new version of the website is automatically built and deployed into the servers. And lastly, let's discuss how did we create this self-assessment tool. I start with the project timeline. 1st of February, we came with the idea that we need to find a way to group our people, group our participants into different levels of experience. And we did a lot of research for 3 weeks. And on 3 weeks after, we came up with the overall structure and the choice of our platform. We did do research on the existing platforms, both in terms of quizzes that are already available and websites that let you generate quizzes. And we also wanted to start with Colab and Jupyter notebooks, but they all turned out to be not flexible enough for our use case. So we decided to develop this platform on our own. And once we finalized that we need to create this platform on our own, I was tasked with the coding of this platform, as well as managing the team that is generating the content. About early April, we finalized all of our content and our platform. And about last week, we deployed our first version into Vector's website. We are now working on doing a pilot run for the causal inference lab, which is held by the project management team and the AI engineering team in May 2023. And we hope to integrate this process into registration of all Vector programs by June 2023. And in terms of content development, we have already developed 3 major quizzes, which is Python programming, data visualization and manipulation, and model development. And to do that, we had a very systematic way in designing our content. The design of the content was done by 3 graduate computer science students, me, Ida, and Reginald, all from the PD team. And the way that we did it was Ida and Reginald would generate questions and create a question bank. After the question bank was created, we would meet weekly to discuss the questions and go over all of the questions to see which are the best to choose and generate a first draft. And then next, once we had our first draft, I would send the first draft to Michael, which is another team member in the PD team, and we would review it together to come up with the final version of each quiz. And in terms of the future works, we are looking to complete our content. We are trying to add new subjects. We would also like to expand the current quizzes that we have into different levels of difficulties. We also want to add a built-in code editor. As of now, we are still relying on Colab and Jupyter Notebook for our programming questions, but we would like to add a built-in code editor within the website so that people can start writing the code without leaving the website. And also we are planning to integrate this into all of the programs that Vector has. Now, before I finish my presentation, I would like to say that I had a great experience working here in Vector, and I believe this is due to the fact that I was in an amazing team. So I would like to thank all of my colleagues and collaborators, and special thanks to my supervisor who was always supportive to me. And I encourage everyone to go to assessment.vectorinstitute.ai, see for yourself what we have built, and thank you for listening to my presentation. I'm happy to answer any questions.
Great presentation, Amir. Question. So do you have any estimates on how long it took you guys to complete a cycle for one topic so that we have that in mind, from a project management perspective?
Yes, that's a great question. So the whole content development took about 6 weeks, and we prepared 3 quizzes. So at first we thought that 2 weeks for each quiz, and we almost did the same, but some of them took a little bit longer, whereas some of them took a little bit less than that. But in general, I think it took about 2 weeks per each quiz.
Awesome, thank you.
Welcome.
Sorry, just out of curiosity, how long is each quiz?
Each quiz?
Like how long was each quiz?
Around 15 minutes. We try to keep it less than 15 minutes. If the questionnaires are fairly simple, we went with like 15 questions in our Python programming, but in our model development where it needs more thinking, so we went with 6 questions, but they're more detailed and they take a little bit more time. So we try to keep it in less than 15 minutes.
Awesome, thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, great. Oh, just one more question, just to push your creativity here on you, Amir. So
Sure.
let's say that we're going to put this thing into in reality. Let's say that we're going to use it in some of the projects. So in your mind, what would be the steps if, for instance, one person gets a pretty low score, or a person who gets I guess I'm just going to focus on the person who gets a pretty low score. What do you think should be done once the person has been identified as a pretty low score for a particular purpose after completing that questionnaire? What are your thoughts about it?
Yes, that's actually a great question. We thought about that within our team. So the way that these quizzes work, they are not going to give you a number that, okay, you did 80% or you did 100% or you did 20%. But it is rather to give the person an idea of how confident and how much competence they have in terms of Python programming, for example. So when a person sees that, okay, I'm not doing very well in this quiz, it is again up to them to decide that if they want to actually register for that program or not. And it may not be beneficial to them to register if they are not, they will understand that I may not understand everything to the full extent if I go with this level of knowledge that I currently have. So we are not going to say that if you do not take the self-assessment tool, or if you do less than, say, 50% in the quiz, you are not allowed to register. It is just going to give a better idea to people how they're going to perform within the class and how they're going to be, how ready they are to join that class.